Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the Snetterton Circuit, the home of motorsport in the east of England. Ready for the first of 2 days of race action with the BARC, the British Automobile Racing Club. It is the latest round for the Classic Touring Car Racing Club, the saloon cars of all ages. They will be first up on track today. The first race will be the Prix 93 and Prix 03 touring cars. Let's have a look at the lineup then for our first race of the day. James Everard on pole position with the BMW E30, alongside Ian Bauer in his E36 M3, the number 90. Second row, number 45, Robert Crisell, and 33, Andy Cripps. They're both in BMW M3s as well. Then the two Hondas of Ross Craig and James Alford, the first of the Prix 03 cars. Row 4, Scott Smith, Honda Civic, and Cavan Granger, the Prix 03 points leader with his BMW. Row 5, Matthew Howarth, he's in a Vauxhall Astra, alongside John Hillier's BMW estate. The sixth row, Anton Martin, normally a classic Ford man, but out in his BMW this weekend, alongside Simon Mann, that's the Cadbury's liveried BMW 328. Row 7, Alan Hersey in his BMW Compact. We've seen him race his Reliant Scimitar in the Classic Thunder division in the past, alongside Steve Walden, number 36, with another E30 BMW. Row 8, Vic Hope with his Honda Civic, alongside Mark Fowler, the ex-Ford Capri man, in his BMW. Then the penultimate row of the grid is Pete Winston. Again, normally a Ford man, but he switched to a BMW this weekend, starting alongside the Honda of Neil Ashcroft. And at the back of the field, we will see Will Hunt at the wheel of a Ford Fiesta. We normally see him in the Blue Oval Saloons. I think he's out in them as well this weekend. He starts in Prix 03 as well, though. From the back of the field, we should see 19 cars on the grid, although Will Hunt didn't complete a flying lap in qualifying, so we hope that he is there. About to get underway, a little bit of creeping there possibly from Ian Bauer as they wait for the red lights to go out. The revs are up, and away they go. Great start by Ian Bauer, a slow getaway for James Everard as they thunder down towards Riches for the first time, and it is Ian Bauer in the clear as they head towards the first corner of this 15-minute race. Up into third is Andy Cripps in the green BMW. Are they all going to make it round? Okay, indeed they are. Round the first corner, it's Bauer who leads it. Everard has recovered into second place, a bit slow off the line. He's lost the lead. The first two well clear as they head into Wilson's hairpin. Crisell in third place, then he's Cripps. We got tangled there. John Hillier, and that's Ross Craig, the quickest of the Prix 03s in qualifying. Anton Martin's caught up, and the Astra's in there as well of Matthew Howard. A bit of chaos at the hairpin, and Everard's taken the lead as they go into Palmer's. The E30 has the lead in the early stages. They come down towards Agostini. Second place, it is Ian Bauer. Third is Rob Crisell. Then it's Cripps in fourth place. The leading Prix 03 after that early incident is James Alford in the older EK3 shape Honda Civic there, the white car. First five breaking away slightly. It's Cavan Granger up into sixth place in the number 137 BMW. Down to seventh is Scott Smith in his Honda. They head through Hamilton's up towards the right-hander at Oggie's. There's a yellow flag waving there. Or is that on the earlier part of the circuit? I couldn't tell. You know, the safety car might be coming out. I think I can see more yellow flags up there. We'll wait and confirm that in a second. We're on board with Rob Crisell as he chases the leaders. Yes, the safety car is coming out. There must be a car stranded at Wilson's hairpin. I think it might be Ross Craig in his Honda Civic. Oh no, there's John Hillier, the BMW estate. Now that's pulled up on the left of the circuit on the exit of the hairpin. Now, is there some debris in the road? We'll wait and see. We'll see what happened. And John Hillier, well, completely missed his braking point, slams into the side of Ross Craig, and then gets collected in turn by Anton Martin and by the Astra of Matthew Howarth as well. I would imagine Ross Craig's car is stranded on track there. Yes, there it is. The aligned concept engineering car is going to need realigning after that impact, isn't it? Here we go then. The safety car into pit lane. We go racing once again on the Snetterton 300 circuit with the Classic Touring Car Racing Club Prix 03 and Prix 93 cars. There is the green flag, and James Everard opens the taps on his beautiful E30 M3, leads the way down towards Rich's corner for the first time, side by side as they head into Rich's for third place. That was Crisell and Cripps together. But it is James Everard who leads the way up into the hairpin. Second place is Ian Bauer. Closing up slightly is Rob Crisell. Then it's Andy Cripps. James Alford leads the Prix 03s in his Honda. There's Alan Hersey under fire from Steve Walden. The compact getting ahead of the E30. Everard leads. Crisell a little bit wide there through Palmer's. Cavan Granger in sixth place. Second of the Prix 03s chased by Scott Smith. There he is in the number 127 Honda into Agostini. Granger coming under a bit of pressure from Smith. There is Andy Cripps, the championship leader in the pre-93 touring cars. In 4th place at the moment, he's 3rd in class, trying to catch Crizel and Bauer, the 3 E36s. There's only 2.5 minutes left on the clock though, so there'll probably be just one more lap to go after this in this safety car interrupted race. It's the DTM lookalike BMW of James Everard, looking for his first win of the season. The other BMWs, the newer models, chase him through. Cripps in 4th place as they head into the Bentley straights. Down the back straight they go. James Alford in 5th, looking for his first win of the season in the pre-03 touring cars, and this will put him into the lead of Class C in the point as well, because he's only 2 points behind Ross Craig. So he could mount a championship challenge this year. Here comes Scott Smith on the inside. No, you don't, says Cavan Granger. They are in different classes, those two. Scott Smith leading Class D. Granger a bit wide onto the curb, just flicks the tail wide there. And coming through behind them, Mark Fowler. He's having a good run through in the yellow BMW. Cavan Granger's all over the place. There's a bit of smoke there. I hope that car's not leaking oil, because that could be disastrous for the drivers behind. He's sliding about. He might be sliding on his own oil. Through they come. There's 90 seconds left on the clock. The leader over the line, so we'll be into the last lap this time. And the lead gap as they cross the line is 3.2 seconds. James Everard's done a 2 minutes 8.693, which is only a tenth off his qualifying pace. The BMW has got to hold out through this final lap, and he's heading for victory. Clock has counted down to 0, so it will be checkered flag this time for James Everard. Bit of a shame for the safety car interruption, but safety first, as always. And here comes James Everard through to take the victory. Just got to flick the car through Murray's for the final time. Round the left-hander, checkered flag almost in sight for James Everard, and a first win for the E30 M3 this season. Ian Bauer is not going to catch him. Up towards the line they come. There is the checkered flag, and Everard wins it. First winner of the weekend is James Everard. Ian Bauer comes over in 2nd and wins Class B. 3rd place to our camera car. Robert Crizel completes the podium. Andy Cripps will take 4th and 3rd in class. Should keep his championship lead. Some of his main rivals not out this weekend. Mark Fowler coming through the 5th. That's a good run through the field. And, James Alford slowed on the final lap. So who's won the pre-03s? It's Scott Smith. Granger and Alford hitting problems on the last couple of laps. So Scott Smith comes through to win the pre-03 category and win Class D. Developments there on the final lap back in the pack. Well, it ain't over until that checkered flag drops. Looks like the cars are going to go into the back entrance of the paddock. Hopefully we will hear from our race winner James Everard, hopefully from Scott Smith as well, and we'll try and find out what happened to James Alford there on the final lap. Was leading the pre-03s until last lap. Yeah, his last lap was a 2 minutes 26. There was something amiss with the Honda, and a 2:21 for Cavan Granger, so they both hit issues there. We'll confirm the provisional result then. The win going to James Everard by 4.7 seconds over Ian Bauer. Rob Crizel completing an all-BMW podium. Good run through by Mark Fowler to take 5th behind Andy Cripps. But all change on the last lap in pre-03. Scott Smith picks up the win ahead of Cavan Granger and James Alford. Will Hunt coming through well too from the back of the grid for 9th ahead of Anton Martin. Matthew Howarth in his slightly battered Astra takes 11th. Then 12th for Alan Hersey. Simon Mann 13th. Then Steve Walden and Vic Hope completing the finishers. I don't think the 119 of Neil Ashcroft completed the final lap. Of course, we lost Ross Craig and John Hillier on the opening lap. First of all, we can hand down to Ewan Dunlop, who I believe has got our race winners from the opening race of the day with him.
Thank you very much, Dave. Now I'm here with our winner. A moment to remember and sort of puts things in perspective there, James, but silver on top of your roof there, reason to celebrate.
It is, yeah. We've put a lot of work in for the whole year. Many nights. I need to thank the family and Jason, chief mechanic. We've broke our necks to get to this stage. So yeah, it feels good.
Does it feel like it's been a long time coming? You've worked, like you say, you've worked really hard for it. It's almost like it eluded you for a while this season, hasn't it?
It has. It's a very long time. I think last time I won was we were rallying in the forest in Wales or kart racing as kids. No, we put a lot of effort in, but it feels good. Yeah,
Fantastic.
thank you.
Looking forward to the rest of the season now.
Yeah. Finally, the car. I'm really pleased with the car. We can just keep on top of it and hopefully get a few more wins.
And one more race today as well.
One more, yeah. And we're back out in the Alfa Romeo as well. So
fantastic.
it should be real good fun.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Have a great weekend. Well done. Good start.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Let's go and speak to our second place finisher. Started in second, finished in second. Bit of a procession, was it?
It was, yeah. It was a bit of a shame about the safety car, but
Yeah.
these things happen. So yeah, it was what it was. Unfortunately,
Tough car to catch, isn't it? Tough driver to catch too.
yeah. It just drives away from me. So it's just yeah, it's just too fast. So I'm getting more power for next season. So
Okay.
so hopefully I'll be there or thereabouts. But
New power, new engine, new car. What's coming?
new engine. So should have had it at the start of this season, but it wasn't to be. That's motor racing. But yeah. Still had a decent season, still enjoying it, and I was happy with second place.
Can you do anything in between now and our second race later on this afternoon?
Maybe put a nos on there, but apart from that, I just got to, just get some good laps in. But the time difference and the speed difference, it's 3 seconds, so it's a big ask. But it won't be through lack of trying anyway.
Maybe 2 safety cars later might help.
Unless he causes one, we'll see. It won't be through lack of trying anyway.
Good start to your weekend, well done.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. I want to speak to Scott Smith and find out what happened in our pre-03 class. Scott, we were expecting to see somebody else with like a couple of hundred metres to go. What happened in the pre-03? How come you came through in first place in the class? Where did the other guy
I
go?
think on the first lap, I think there was a BMW come down the inside and spun him out, and then it just left me in the other Civic. But luckily, last lap, I think he had an engine management light come on or something, and I managed to catch him. But them EG Civics are hard to catch compared to this. Hard to catch.
Tell us a bit about the car, 'cause we didn't speak to you earlier on today.
No, that's we had it done for the 750 Motor Club, but we do this meeting every year. Last year we done it in a Clio, and had good results last year, so we come back every year. So it's just a standard K20 with just bolt-on bits, really.
Because qualifying, I think you were 7th overall, 3rd in class, so there was quite a few cars to come through there, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, we qualified first overall in Class D because they put us in Class D. But then I think they changed it. It was third overall or something. So yeah, we had a good start. Got held up coming up the straight there. Couldn't get through. But not luckily, we managed to get through on the other bend there. I lost the driver, but
Mate, great start to your weekend. Well done.
Cheers, mate. Thank
buddy.
you.
Yes, indeed. Thanks very much, Ewan. The car's coming up to the grid then. We're on board with Clint LeChalmers in the BMW that Rob Crizzell was racing in the previous race. It will be a rolling start for this race. The pace car in position. And in pole position it is number 155, the Classic Thunder Championship leader, Jason Davies, with his Ford Sierra Cosworth, alongside Nick Vaughan in his very modified Audi A3. Second row, 56 Piers Grange, first of the Blue Oval Saloons in his modified Escort, alongside Niall Bradley, number 47 in a BMW. Third row, Colin Voice, number 21 in a Mark 1 Escort, alongside Graham Crowhurst's BMW. Row 4, Jason Hughes in his Super Touring Vauxhall Vectra. First time we've seen that car out this year, alongside Bradley Gelman in his Ford Sierra Cosworth. Row 5, number 20, Sam Wilson in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, sharing that car with Ricky Cadd, its preparer, this weekend. He starts alongside Adrian Bradley. He's also in a BMW, number 211. Row 6, 101, Malcolm Harding with his famous Zack Speed Escort, the current Blue Oval Saloon Championship leader, alongside Brian Bransom's BMW. Ian Bowers back out on row 7 alongside Martin Reynolds, number 27. We'll wait to see which of his classic Fords he's brought out this weekend. AJ Owen on row 8, the former Pre-03 touring car champion with his Honda Civic, alongside the first of the Jags, which is the man we just heard from, Tom Robinson. Row 9 is Ronan Bradley. Got all three of the Bradley family out this weekend in their BMWs, alongside our camera car, Clint LeChalmers, number 45. The 10th row, number 12, Chris Brown with his Fiesta, alongside Don Hughes and the Peugeot 306, number 48. Row 11, a pair of Cosworth RS500s, Joey Binks, number 23, 35, Mike Manning. The 12th row, Clive Hainsford in his modified Mazda RX-8, alongside number 67, the second of the Jags, Colin Philpott. Row 13, James Alford, hopefully, has repaired those gremlins from the previous race and can be out here alongside Craig Owen, father of AJ. He's in a Sierra Cosworth. Row 14, Chris Boone in his Jaguar, Tom Abbott in a Ford Capri. Row 15, Andrew Harper's Diesel Jag alongside Jake Swan with his new Mark II Escort. Row 16, the Claxton family, number 84 David in a Triumph Dolomite, 86 Colin in his Escort RS 1800. Row 17, Simon Mann's BMW, Vic Hope Honda Civic. Then on row 18 we've got Stephen Dowell in his Jaguar XKR alongside James Dunkley fighting for the lead of the Blue Oval Saloons in his Ford Fiesta. 114 Stephen Anderson starts next alongside Stuart Place, number 72. Stephen Anderson is in a Jaguar XJS, Stuart Place Mark 1 Escort. 63 is Andy Maynard at the wheel of his XJ40 Jaguar alongside the 515 of Patrick Debola. He's also Ford powered, he's in a Puma. Last few cars on the grid, Tim Mizzen, number 10 in a Ford Fiesta alongside Will Hunt's later shape Fiesta. 97 Andy Wilson, watch for fireworks from the back. Andy Wilson in the Holden Monaro. And number 14 alongside him, Jack Robinson, the younger brother of Tom. He's in a Jaguar XJ40. And number 3, the very quick Tom Harvey in a Mark 1 Escort. One car we won't see out, number 96 Ian Craig, father of Ross. Yeah, the other member of the Craig family has sadly hit trouble as well in qualifying with his BMW, so he's a non-starter. Light is out atop the pace car. The pack will be unleashed for 15 minutes of racing on the Snetterton 300 circuits. Classic Thunder, Blue Oval Saloons and Jaguars start to form up 2 by 2 as they come into the centre straights. Here they come. The pace starts to build and we're underway. Down towards Rich's corner for the first time. It is side by side between Jason Davies and Nick Vaughan. The Sierra pulls ahead. Piers Grange holding third place as they look at the speed of these cars as they rocket their way around the right-hander. Ian Bauer kicking up a bit of dust there in his BMW on the inside, but it's Jason Davies who holds the lead as they come down towards the Wilson's hairpin for the first time. Niall Bradley's up into third place. Bit of a lock-up from Davies. He runs wide. This is Vaughan's opportunity to try and take the lead. Piers Grange in the Escort in fourth place. Then it's another Escort of Colin Voice just ahead of the 115 car of Graham Crowhurst, and Nick Vaughan has taken the lead. Jason Davies running just that little bit wide at the Wilson's hairpin, and it is Nick Vaughan in the Audi A3 who leads the way down towards Agostini for the first time. Davies looking to fight back on the inside. There isn't quite room there though. Niall Bradley is third. They're side by side almost. Davies could get up the inside coming out of the hairpin here as the midfield heads through. There's Ian Bauer getting past AJ Owen in his Honda Civic. Now has Davies got the lead back again? Yes, into Hamilton's there at the top of your picture. He's just taken the lead back from Nick Vaughan. Niall Bradley going with them in the BMW, regular winner at Brands Hatch over the last few years, as well as in Kumho BMW. It's Davies who leads the way. Nick Vaughan under fire from Bradley. That's Grange, Voice. It looks like Jason Hughes up into sixth place in the Vauxhall Vectra as Niall Bradley charges past Nick Vaughan down the straight there. He seemed to slipstream him, or has that Audi got problems in the background? Clint Lachamers onto the grass. That sent Don Hughes scattering in avoidance there. Now, did Clint Lachamers spin the BMW? We didn't see. I think he may have saved it. 2 stunning classic Escorts. Piers Grange, multiple Blue Oval Saloon Series champion, the owner of PRG Trailers, leads Colin Voice in his Mark 1. Then we've got Jason Hughes, Graham Crowhurst's BMW. Then I got back to the next of the Bradleys, which I think is Adrian Bradley, the 211, the green car. And then we've got Malcolm Harding, normally a pace setter in the Blue Oval Saloon Series. Let's see, this race is going to be over the full distance. No time knocked off for the extra green flag lap, and it's a full 15-minute race. There goes the battle of the Fords, side by side between Graham Crowhurst and Jason Hughes over the line. There's the Aston Martin in the background, just ahead of Martin Reynolds, the local man in his Mark II Escort. Then it's the supercharged Jag as Jason Hughes attacks Colin Voice into Agostini. The Vauxhall Vectra goes through, and we've got a red flag. That's Don Hughes, the Peugeot 306. Cloud of smoke from the front of his car. He's out of the car, he's okay. So that's one car out of it. Yes, Don is stopped, that's on the outside of Coram. So that must have happened on the rolling lap. That's the second time that's happened to Don Hughes this season. He stopped on the rolling lap at Thruxton as well. See a replay here. I've just noticed something, but we'll go to that in a moment. Was it on the opening lap or on... No, it was... this is what happened. Don Hughes spun it on the opening lap. And Chris Brown in the Fiesta going off with him there. We saw Don Hughes get... Oh, Mike Manning in the Sierra, look out, nearly collects Don Hughes' car. Well, I thought he may have pulled up on the rolling start there. There's oil down. There's cars going everywhere. So that's what happened. Everybody survived it except... And the reason I was just about to interrupt myself, there we saw Nick Vaughan. The Audi's got a problem, but there's oil down at Coreham. Look, everybody's on the grass. There's a spin for Stuart Place in his Mark 1 Escorts. So whether that's oil from Don Hughes' car or whether it was somebody further up the order, but most of the back of the field has taken to the grass at Coreham. There you see, there's the XJS going off of Steve Anderson. Chaos. Ford Puma going off as well, that's Patrick DeBolla. Luckily, I don't think there was any contact. Well, the whole of the back of the field has gone auto-grassing at Coreham. With oil everywhere, that's the reason for the red flag. Listen to the roar as they come up towards the start line, waiting for the red light to go out above the Marshalls gantry. Away they go. It is Jason Davies who's already got clear. He got the start absolutely right. Now, can he get the hairpin right this time? Yes, nicely to the inside ahead of Niall Bradley. Crowhurst up into third place. Then we've got the 2 Escorts of Piers Grange and the 21 of Colin Boyce. Adrian Bradley, 211 is next, side by side with Malcolm Harding. A better start from the Zach Speed Escort. Jason Hughes is tucked in behind them. It's Martin Reynolds. Robinson in the first of the Jags. That's Tom Robinson. The rest of them stream their way through behind a slightly reduced field for this restart. Of the initial 46 cars that came out for this race, as up the inside Adrian Bradley takes Colin Boyce. The 2 Castrol liveried Escorts now in together. It's Jason Davies and Niall Bradley going clear of Graham Crowhurst. Great to see him up there in that third place. Pick up the class leaders once everybody's come round on the opening lap. Piers Grange leads the Blue Oval Saloon Series cars. Good start by Adrian Bradley coming through in the green BMW into 5th overall. Then we've got the 2 Escorts, then Jason Hughes, Martin Reynolds, and Tom Robinson in the leading Jag. Colin Boyce kicks up a little bit of dust into the Bentley Straight. He's up alongside Adrian Bradley. First 2 have gone clear as they come down into Brundles. Jason Davies from Adrian Bradley. There's Crowhurst holding third. The Aston Martin coming through after a bit of a slow start as well in the hands of Sam Wilson. Towards Nelson, then down into the bomb hole. You can see as the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th cars come through there, you see the circuit drop away on the inside. It's back up towards where we had the oil slick. You can see the dust being kicked up slightly as Piers Grange runs wide. He may have found a little spot of oil there. This is going to allow Colin Boyce to attack in the Mark 1 Escorts. Grange holds the place through Murray's. Adrian Bradley in there as well. Then it's Harding and Hughes. Great battle developing between those few, but it's Davies who leads by 1.5 seconds from Niall Bradley. Graham Crowhurst is third, then Grange, Boyce, Jason Hughes 3 wide behind. Adrian Bradley on the outside. Look at Hughes up the inside, using the brakes judiciously on the Super Touring car there on the inside. Jason Hughes makes up 2 places ahead of Adrian Bradley, and in behind him that is Malcolm Harding, Blue Oval points leader. Grange leads the Blue Oval cars. Leading Jag is still Tom Robinson. He's well clear of his Jaguar opposition as Malcolm Harding draws up alongside Adrian Bradley. Graham Crowhurst safe in third. Now the battle is for 4th. The 3 Escorts, the Vectra and the BMW of Adrian Bradley. Big sponsor of motorsport as well. And Piers Grange has gone wide. Has he got a problem there? Grange went out wide. I think he's pulled off. Now, that's going to hand Malcolm Harding the lead in the Blue Oval Saloon Series. Piers Grange, I think, has pulled over at the Marshalls post there. First time we've seen his Escort out on track in a while. There's some smoke there further back as well, which I think might have been the Jaguar driven by Jack Robinson. There's Grange. Yes, he's slowing. We can see in the background there. Escorts go through. Martin Reynolds. Has he got ahead of Malcolm Harding there? If so, he's leading the Blue Oval Saloons. No, yes, he has there. Malcolm Harding behind him. So Martin Reynolds has taken the lead of the Blue Oval Saloons. I think Malcolm Harding may have a problem. Wait and see. The Aston Martin, the much bigger V8 engine Aston Martin, monsters past him. Looks more like a drag racing funny car, doesn't it, with a circuit race? That incredible Aston Martin V8 Vantage, prepared by Ricky Can. There's a black and orange flag out And I think that is for Jack Robinson. Yes, smoke from his car. The black and orange flag means technical problem, you need to pit. Drivers call it the meatball flag, the black with the orange disc. I assume that's for the number 14 because he is smoking and he needs to pull in. Pick up who that was in a moment. Malcolm Harding, is he going to go ahead? Yes, into Brundles. Around the outside of Martin Reynolds to retake the lead in the battle of the Mark II escorts. As Stephen Dowell in this beautiful... Oh, he's gone off. Stephen Dowell in the beautiful Jaguar XKR, a new car, newcomer to racing this year. And he's done a bit of grass tracking there going into Brundles. Is he losing his brakes, I wonder? And Jason Davies is heading for victory. Is it going to be one more lap this time through? Yes, it is. Or is it? No, the checkered flag showing on the timing screen. The checkered flag came out a bit late there. So Davies wins it from Niall Bradley. I thought there was one more lap to go. Apologies there. So Davies wins it from Niall Bradley by 4.4 seconds. Graham Crowhurst third. And Jason Hughes will be fourth in the Vectra. Fifth will be Adrian Bradley's BMW. Colin Boyce in the Mark I Escort will be sixth. That's running in Classic Thunder. And who's going to win the Blue Oval Saloon? Sam Wilson will bring the Aston Martin home, seventh overall. The Blue Oval Saloon battle, is it going to be Malcolm Harding or Martin Reynolds? It's Martin Reynolds, the local man, takes the win. Eighth place overall. Malcolm Harding has dropped back on that final lap. There's the Escort. Yeah, his last lap a slow one, 2:20, so may have had a problem there. Let's have a look. This is into Brundles. Did he overshoot? He's got round Brundles okay, Malcolm Harding. Oh, and he locks up into Nelson and spins around. That's a strange incident. You don't very often see spins there. Did a brake lock on or something? Martin Reynolds says, thank you very much. I'll go through and take the Blue Oval Saloons win. The Jaguars, meanwhile, they've been won by Tom Robinson, who extends his championship lead. Nice to see that Clive Hainsford made it home there in the Mazda. We'll confirm the full results as and when we can. There's Jake Swan in that lovely new Mark II Escort. It's coming over the line as we check out the results. Davies the winner ahead of Niall Bradley by 4.4 seconds. And Graham Crowhurst a further 11 seconds back in third. Jason Hughes in the Vectra, a class winning fourth ahead of Adrian Bradley. And Colin Boyce wins his class as well, as does Sam Wilson. Martin Reynolds wins the Blue Oval Saloons ahead of Malcolm Harding, who had a spin on the final lap. Then Ian Bauer and AJ Owen next home. Then Ronan Bradley, Tom Robinson, the Jaguar winner, 13th overall. Then Joey Binks, Chris Brown completing the top 15. But hopefully we can head down to Parc Fermé with you and Dunlop shortly to hear from a few of the drivers.
Thank you, Dave. Well, absolute chaos out there, wasn't it? And a little bit of chaos here in the paddock, to be perfectly honest, on Parc Fermé. Cars just parked all over the place. We generally get the 1, 2, 3 in order. That has not happened, so I'm going to go and grab whoever I can when I can. I am going to speak first of all to Martin Reynolds, who was at a brilliant battle with Malcolm Harding out there, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good.
Talk us through it from your point of view.
Well, I think we all, with the second start, I think we was all overheating, and the tyres were sort of not up to temperature really. I mean, obviously when we got going, it was fine, but the tyres, my tyres, everybody's tyres were slipping around a bit. But it was good fun, and I had the legs today, thank God.
I mean, we saw about a dozen cars go off onto the grass. Were you one of those? It was such a bit of a mess.
No, I kept it on the black stuff as much as I could.
Cool,
yeah, the others were going off here and there, but I was just trying to keep it smooth as possible.
Winning class, great start to your weekend.
Yeah, really good. My home track, so I was hoping to do well.
Excellent.
So it's good.
Well done. Best of luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's go and speak to Malcolm. He was the other half of that duel. Malcolm, and I'll grab you another. All
right.
How's eventful?
Yeah, I'll just rag it as you like, I would say. We ran out of back tyres. We couldn't get any tyres this week. Well, we can't get any full stop. Avon have got nothing at the moment. Crazy, really. All these cars run on them.
Why is that?
Hang on. I don't know. I just don't think they're that interested in supplying tyres to these cars because it's crazy. There's probably 30 cars here or 20 cars here that run them tyres. You can't get them. So we're having to scrap around getting bits and bobs, which is just rubbish, really.
And 47 in total on the grid, or not 47 finished.
Yeah.
But I mean, what was it like being out there in that chaos? It was an incredible race.
Nah, it's normally a good race, isn't it? To be fair, and to be fair, most of the lads are all good. We race week in, week out of them. They're all good lads, all good club, brilliant club, run brilliantly. Everything's good about it, really.
And always entertaining.
Always entertaining. Just stressed about tyres right now. Wish we could get tyres because 150 grand can't need
Are these
tyres.
going to survive for race 2?
No, really. I've got another set of old ones to try and put on there and see if we can cycle them round, but really it's crazy.
Oh, look at this, a trophy and a wreath.
Yeah,
Another win.
Yeah, really happy.
When are you going to give somebody else a chance?
When I've won the championship.
I mean, mathematically, that's not far away, is it?
I don't actually know. I'll have to have a sit down and work out, but it's close, definitely. I don't think we're quite clear yet, but I don't think Colin started, so I know he was catching me on points. So, yeah, I don't think there's any drop rounds, so it's looking very close.
Excellent. And race 2 coming up later today. Must be looking forward to that now.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, actually. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that race. It was quite good fun with some of the BMWs. Obviously, similar yeared cars, but they're on the slicks. But to start with, when they're on cold tyres, can have a good bit of fun, and obviously got some good straights on.
It was very messy, that oily corner. Did you get caught up in that? Because all we saw was like a plethora of cars going off that corner.
No, it was only the Chris told me I must have missed it, but when I come back round, I could see the carnage of it and the remnants, and it stayed slippy for the rest of the race. So I just hung on the inside and scrubbed a bit less speed through there. So, but no, it was a great race. It was good fun.
Tom, well done.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, buddy.
Yes, thanks very much, Ewan. The car's already on the grid for our next race, the Shell Oils Prix 83 Group 1 Touring Cars, and it's an all Mark 1 Escort. Front row, 9 times champion Stephen Primet in pole position with the number 1 Escort, looking for his 10th title this year, and he leads the points. Jason Christie, number 10, alongside him. Second row, a Mark 2 Escort of number 81 Mark Chollerton from Kings Lynn on his local circuit, alongside number 49 of David Osborne with his Triumph Dolomite Sprint. Another Triumph on row 3, Carl Shreve, number 14, 197 Graham Smith with his Escort. Row 4, number 84 David Claxton, Triumph Dolomite. Number 42 Duncan Leffley, he's in a Mark 1 Golf GTI. Row 5, number 86 Colin Claxton, he's also in a Dolomite Sprint for this one as the cars move off for the green flag lap. Alongside number 43 Malk Best, he's in a Ford Capri. On row 6, number 6 Anton Martin with an Escort RS 1600, that's a Mark 3 Escort, alongside 99 David Margulies with his Alfa Romeo GTV6. Row 7, number 16 Malcolm Jeffs, he's in a Golf GTI, and 62 Lewis Judd with an Escort. Row 8, Martin Reynolds, classic Ford collector, he's switched into his Ford Tonus P7, something very different indeed. Alongside number 80 Gary Fletcher, he'll be in his Vauxhall Firenze. Row 9, Peter Millington in a Hillman Avenger, and Keith Evans with his Alfa Romeo Alfa Sud. Back of the grid, Richard Woodford with his Opel Kadett, and hopefully we will see Tom Harvey out in his Escort as well. But he's been having repeated problems. We saw him retire from his previous race, the Blue Oval Saloons, earlier on. So hopefully we'll see Tom out there, making it a 20-car field. Time to go racing with the Shell Oils Prix 83 Touring Cars. We are underway. Not the quickest of starts by our poleman, Stephen Primet. Watch for Osborne at the outside in the Triumph. He's going to get ahead of the Escorts. What a superb start by Mark Osborne, and he'll lead the way into riches for the first time. We're on board with Mark Chollerton, who's down to 4th place. That was a flyer from Mark Osborne, and the Welshman leads the way as they go up towards Wilson's Hairpin for the first time. 2nd place is Stephen Primet, the championship leader and reigning champion, as they head into the right-hander at Wilson's Hairpin. The Triumph runs a little bit wide, bit of understeer there. Jason Christie sliding alongside Mark Chollerton as well. We're on board with the Norfolkmen as they head up towards Palmer for the first time. There is Jason Christie in the number 10 to our left. He goes through up into 3rd place. Start to sort themselves out then. Carl Shreve in the 2nd of the Triumphs in behind them. Well, Andy Rouse had some of the earlier successes of his career in a broad-speed tuned Mark 1 Escorts. Also raced a Triumph Dolomite, also campaigned by another saloon legend, Jerry Marshall. Great memories being evoked here. On board with Chollerton as we head down The short straight towards the left flick at Hamilton's. He's back ahead of Jason Christie in their battle for third, but already the two leaders, you can see up ahead, are just beginning to pull away. The black Dolomite of Mark Osborne, the cream-coloured Mark 1 Escort of Stephen Primet out in front. Primet's the clear championship leader on 108 points. Already over 40 points clear of Anton Martin, who is second in the standings. He's in Class D with the Mark 3 Escort RS 1600i. Class B being led by Mount Best in the Capri. We haven't got any Class A entries here. There's only been one entry all season, David Howard's Jaguar in an early round at Silverstone. Two leaders slide their way through Nelson's. Chollerton's still there in third place, but it's the Triumph that leads the forward hordes through the bomb hole. There you can see from on board how much the circuit drops down there and then rises back up again. Named the bomb hole by motorcycle racers. I find it's particularly difficult through there. Christie in fourth place. There's a Shreve under 5 of it. That's Graham Smith in the Escort putting the pressure on. They're splitting into 3 pairs, our first 6 you can see in this race. 7th is Malcolm Best, who's raced this Capri for many, many years, ahead of Duncan Leffley in the VW Golf GTI. Get a sensation of the speed as they charge down the centre straight, and Mark Osborne certainly got the speed. He's pulled away from Stephen Primet. Mark Chollerton going after them in the Escort in third. Through the right-hander at Riches, you can see how hard Mark Chollerton has to work the wheel on this rear-wheel drive Mark II Escort RS 2000. Mark Osborne, again, a little bit sideways out of the hairpin of the car, snapping from understeer to oversteer. Looks like the Escorts are handling slightly better than the Triumph, but the Dolomite has got the straight line speed. Oh, that's one of the Golfs out. Number 16, Malcolm Jeffs. The Buckinghamshire driver has pulled over. That's on the run into Agostini, I think. Here come your leaders. And Mark Osborne signalling to Stephen Primet to go up the inside. Has Osborne got a problem? He's waved Stephen Primet through there, I think. So has the Dolomite got an issue here? Oh, somebody's certainly got an issue. That's a wheel off, I imagine. That's come off Simon Jeff's Golf. Malcolm Jeff's Golf, I should say, sorry. Yeah, the Dolomite's in trouble. He's dropping back. Oh, what a shame. Mark Osborne, we saw him waving Stephen Primet through at Brundles, and yes, the Dolomite has got a problem. So it's Escorts 1, 2 and 3, and this battle between Chollerton and Christie now for second place. I imagine Mark Osborne's going to head into the pits. He's not had a happy season in 2022 with the Triumph. Primet leads over the line. Let's see what the gap is. 2.5 seconds back to Mark Chollerton. Long right-hander, you can see how long it is from on board with Chollerton at Corham. Tightens a little, and the left flick of Murray's. That bit of the circuit was slightly redesigned a few years ago. It used to be a much sharper chicane, was known as the Jim Russell chicane. Here's a battle further back in the order. That's Lewis Judd in the yellow Escort, making a move on David Margulies. That's for 10th place. Just behind Colin Claxton, doubling up between his Triumph and his Escort this weekend. There's Anton Martin behind them. Another man on his local circuit here, the East Anglian, former Bangor racer, here with his BMW and his classic Fords this weekend. It's the Mark III Escort, the RS 1600. But it's going to be yet another win for the king of Pre-83 touring cars, Stephen Primet, across the line to take the flag. Now, who is going to be second? Mark Chollerton holds on by less than half a second ahead of Jason Christie. Well done, Mark. We rode with him to second place. Shreve and Smith will be next home. Carl Shreve in the Triumph, spoiling the domination of the Escorts. 4th for Shreve, 5th for Graham Smith. Duncan Leffley will take 6th in the Golf, and they're still battling further back. Colin Claxton under fire from Anton Martin. In the Escort Mark III, round the outside there. Is Colin Claxton slowing up there? Yes, I think he is. Oh, Colin Claxton, what a shame. Another Dolomite in trouble. It's not Triumph's day at all, is it? So Leffley 6th. It's going to be Malcolm Best. There's the Capri coming in for 7th. He will win Class B. Lewis Judd will be in 8th place. And Anton Martin 9th. He'll win Class D and will keep 2nd overall in the championship. Colin Claxton. Is he going to make it home, or is he going to pull into the pit lane? He may not make it that far. Because coming through next should be Peter Millington. Yes, here he comes. There's the... We didn't really see the Hillman Avenger in that one. Lovely looking car, that is. Across the line he comes. He finishes second in Class D, 10th overall. So your result confirmed then. The top 6 cars all in Class C. Stephen Primmett the winner by nearly 5.5 seconds, but there was less than half a second in it per second between Mark Chollerton and Jason Christie. Carl Shreve 4th in his Dolomite ahead of Graham Smith. And Duncan Leffley in the Golf in 6th position. Malcolm Best wins Class B in 7th. That was Lewis Judd. Anton Martin, the winner of Class D, and Peter Millington, Keith Evans, and finally Gary Fletcher. No other finishers because we, as we saw, we lost Colin Claxton on the last lap. David Margulies pulled into the pits. We sadly lost Tom Harvey, Mark Osborne, the early leader, Malcolm Jeff shed a wheel, and David Claxton was also an early retirement. For now, Ewan, over to you.
Thank you, Dave. Another wonderful race from our classic touring cars, this time the Pre-83s. Let's speak to our winner, Stephen Primmett, no stranger, of course, to the winner's circle. Another win, Stephen.
Yeah, but not only is it a win, I think that's the championship, I think
Dave was trying to work it out. It might be the 10th, yes. I don't want to say for certain,
No.
but it's looking very, very comfortable.
Yeah, I think I needed 8 points today, and I think I've scored at least 13. So
In that case, congratulations.
So 10th championship.
I mean, did you ever imagine once you got your first or second that you'd hit 10?
I didn't imagine I'd ever win a race in my life.
Okay.
You know, you come into the sport and you don't. Just a dream to win a race, and it just gets better and better. I just love it.
This might be a stupid question, but I'll ask it. Does it ever get boring? Ever?
Never ever. I've been asked that before, and I go, man, you've not won a race, because they just get better. They just get better and better. But I mean, obviously, lucky today. Mark Osborne was had some. There was oil on my windscreen from the very start, so something was going wrong with the dolly. So I got lucky. He waved me through at the end of the straight. He knew he was crippled, but you got to take him.
Didn't go your way off the line, but you were there in front when you crossed the line. What happened at the start?
Well, I felt a good start. Me and Jace were pretty even. I thought, yeah, I've got the legs on Jace into the first corner. Suddenly, Mark Osborne, boom, does his normal rocket. So he rocketed around the outside. So.
Stephen, not enough superlatives. A massive congratulations.
Yeah, very pleased. I can retire now. I've got 10.
I don't think you will. Thank you, mate. Right, let's go and speak to our third place finisher if we can find him. Actually, let's speak to Mark Chollerton here.
Go on then.
Second place. Wonderful race.
Yeah, enjoyable. Unfortunately, I've got Jason nibbling at my rear end.
Yep.
Fair play to him. No touching, no contact. But I just couldn't get near Steve. Couldn't catch him.
Not many people can.
I'd had a good go if I hadn't got Jason on me.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Mark Osborne had to pull out, but that left me and Steve and Jason.
We did see you get it down to about 1.5 seconds, but once you had him on your tail, you were too busy fighting him off, weren't you?
Absolutely. I could see Steve. Just got close to him, and then with Jason, I lost touch with Steve, unfortunately. But there we are. It's a cracking race. Hopefully it'll look good on telly.
And you get to have another go tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. Now I'm starting second, aren't I? Oh dear.
Thanks, Pointy. He's off for a pint, I presume. And we've got left for you 2 more classic touring car races. Pre-66 is up first, sponsored by Pultec Classic Race Engines. In pole position should be Piers Grange with his Ford Mustang, but looking at the grid, it looks like he's not there. So it would have been Little and Large on the front row, but the big Mustang isn't there. An amazing effort by the reigning champion James Ibbotson to put his Hillman Imp on the front row overall. He starts there alone by the look of it. Second row, we have got number 21, which is Mike Davies at the wheel of his Mini, alongside Billy Keneally, number 52, in I think is the ex-Robin Slater Ford Anglia. Certainly is an Anglia 105E. Row 3, number 47, Nigel Cox, the first of the Lotus Cortinas, alongside 63, Kevin Swan with his Anglia. On row 4, another pair of Lotus Cortinas, Rob Kirkhoven and Pat Keneally. The fifth row is Robin Slater with a Lotus Cortina. Now he's down as in Class C with that Lotus Cortina. Should be in Class F, surely. Alongside number 7, Kevin Bottomley. Then we got the championship leader, Luke Wilson, with his Austin A40 on row 6, alongside 102 Ed Gibbs. He's in an Anglia. Row 7, number 6, Michael Foley with the Lotus Cortina, the ex-Morris Minor racer, alongside David Ellis with a Hillman Imp. And Brian Bedford and Steve Evans, Austin A40 Farina. We were told it was going to be Steve Evans in race 1, but it's down as Brian Bedford on the qualifying sheet. Paul Cooper will start alongside him in a Ford Cortina GT, not a Lotus Cortina. And the final row, Anthony Warren's Austin A40 and Keith Wright with his Cortina. Here we go then, the revs rising. Reds are on. And here we go. Good start from further back on the grid by one of the imps there. A slow start for Kevin Bottomley's Mini. He was nearly collected, and it is James Ibbotson who heads into the sunlight with the number 1 Hillman Imp. A good start by Pat Keneally. It's Pat and Billy Keneally. Not sure how they're related, those two, but they're in 2nd and 3rd place, I believe. Pat is possibly the father of Billy, but I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me on that if I am. But it is James Ibbotson who has the lead in the Hillman Imp. We saw him come close to an overall win at Mallory Park in the wet a couple of years ago. Nigel Cox side by side with Mike Davies. A poor start by the Mini. He's been shuffled back. Kevin Swan in the Anglia, and the number 24 of Rob Kirkhoven, the ex-British karting champion, former low-cost sports car racer, is in there with his Lotus Cortina as well. But it's Ibbotson who leads. The Keneally 2nd and 3rd, then Cox and Swan as they start to move their way into the infield loop. There's Paul Cooper, a retired chartered surveyor from Yorkshire with his Cortina GT. Somebody's bonnet flapping there, one of the Cortinas. That's the 47 of Nigel Cox. And look at this from the back of the field. James Everard in the Alfa Romeo. He's already well up into the top 10. He's got ahead of Rob Kirkhoven in the white and green Cortina there. But James Ibbotson in this beautiful number 1 Imp. It really is a quite stunning car, and driven expertly by its young owner as well. Look at James Everard. He's already won today in his BMW. He wants another win here from the back of the field. Ibbotson leads the way. They come through Williams towards the Bentley Straight. He's already well clear. 2nd place, Pat Keneally's Lotus Cortina. Billy Keneally in the Anglia in 3rd. There's Everard already up into about 5th place ahead of Mike Davies in the Mini. Going for Kevin Swan next. 6th position to be precise is the Alfa. Well, James Ibbotson pulling away like he's got a Mustang engine in that Imp, isn't he? 2nd place is Pat Keneally. Next, Billy Keneally. His car's former owner further down this lineup, Robin Slater. Oh, and up on the curb there, that was Kevin Swan. He said you could end up in trouble if you hit the curb there on the inside of Nelson's, and the Anglia nearly up onto 2 wheels. James Everard will take the place in his Alfa Romeo Sprint. He certainly has sprinted through the field, hasn't he? He's up into 5th now. Chasing now Nigel Cox in the Cortina for 4th place. James Ibbotson, though, in the clear in his Hillman Imp. Hillman Imp Super. It certainly is a super performance from him here so far. Look how small it is compared to even the Lotus Cortinas. It was Bill McGovern who won, I think it was a hat-trick of titles in the George Bevan tuned Sunbeam Imps in British touring cars. That car certainly built to look similar to them, as Billy Keneally under fire in the ex-Robin Slater Anglia from Nigel Cox in the Cortina. You don't want to go off there on the outside of the exit of Riches, because you end up in that farmer's field in the background. Ibbotson leads into the hairpin. Pat Keneally 2nd. Here's the fight for 3rd. Look at the Alfa Romeo at the inside there, challenging the Lotus Cortina. The next group is headed up by Michael Foley, as down the inside, under braking, sliding the Alfa Romeo is James Everard. And he's past Nigel Cox now. He almost put Cox onto the grass there. I don't think that was intentional. I think the car just got away with it, away from him under braking there. The reigning champion, can he get his first overall win as Pat Keneally goes wide, coming out of Murray's? And the Alfa Romeo in 2 laps. I know it's a long lap here at Snetterton, but the Alfa Romeo is going to be up to 2nd place in only 2 laps from the very back of the grid. Superb. Half a second in it between the two of them. They're nearly 8 seconds down on James Ibbotson. Fastest lap of the race, 2:25.7. Anglia's battling it out. Kevin Swan under fire from Billy Keneally, chasing now Nigel Cox in the Cortina. Mike Davies in the Mini, playing Sir John Whitmore, or should that be John Love or John Rhodes? Didn't have to be called John to race a Mini in the 60s, but it helped as off goes Nigel Cox. He'll lose 3 places there. Bit of rallying in the Lotus Cortina. Now here comes Billy Keneally. trying for 4th position. Inside of Kevin Swan, Mike Davies tries to tuck in as well. The Blue Anglia through, but the Mini doesn't manage to get ahead of Kevin Swan. They're chasing now the Cortina of Pat Keneally. It's under 5 minutes to go. Is that a bit of smoke there? Yes, it is. I thought that was, and yes, there's oil going down. Round goes Nigel Cox. Pat Keneally's dropping oil. I thought I saw a puff of smoke there. And Nigel Cox spins. Is that on Pat Keneally's oil, I would think? Doesn't say who that's for. Billy Keneally gets past Pat. Yeah, there's something amiss, definitely. Yes, he's definitely leaking oil there, the 201 Cortina. Yes, that's blue smoke, that's oil. He really needs to pull over here, Pat Keneally, but he is 3rd in the championship, albeit quite a way behind Luke Wilson and James Ibbotson. And was leading his class. He's not now. It will be, or is he? No, I think he is still leading the class for Lotus Cortinas, because we saw Nigel Cox spin, of course. Here comes the reigning champion, James Ibbotson, out of the final corner, up towards the checkered flag. It's a first ever, I believe, overall win for James Ibbotson in the Hillman Imp. What a drive. James Everard, what a drive as well, from the back of the grid, takes 2nd in his Alfa Romeo. 5.75 seconds he got the gap down to, gets the fastest lap of the race as well. And 3rd place looks like it's going to be Billy Keneally, with Pat having retired. It's going to be the Anglia in 3rd. Here's a scrap further back, we'll pick that up in a moment. Billy Keneally takes 3rd. And Kevin Swan just beats Mike Davies home for 4th. James Everard wins Class C. Class F is going to be won by Nigel Cox, who will come home next, the first of the Lotus Cortinas, ahead of Rob Kirkhoven's version. And the next battle we saw there is between Michael Foley, number 6, Ed Gibbs and Kevin Bottomley in the 2nd of the Minis. They come up towards the line. And have we lost Rob Kirkhoven? I haven't seen him come through. Yes, Foley 7th, Gibbs 8th, Bottomley 9th, so we've lost Rob Kirkhoven on that final lap. Ibbotson the winner by 5 3/4 seconds over James Everard, with Billy Keneally's Anglia 3rd. Everard winning Class C. Then Kevin Swan and Mike Davies. Nigel Cox wins the Lotus Cortina class, ahead of Michael Foley, because we lost Rob Kirkhoven there late on. Behind them, Ed Gibbs, Kevin Bottomley. Luke Wilson wins his class to extend his title lead. Then Brian Bedford, Paul Cooper and David Ellis, then Keith Wright and Anthony Warnes completing the finishers. We lost Rob Kirkhoven on the final lap, and Pat Keneally also a retirement with an oil leak. Well, hopefully we'll head down to Ewan shortly to speak to some of our drivers. I know James Ibbotson always happy to explain how he wins his races.
Thank you, Dave. Finally, thank you very much for joining us. Prix 66 has never failed to disappoint, and James, what a race, not just a win, but the first ever win for a Class C overall. How does that feel?
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, I can't believe it. It was, I come over the line, I was just completely emotional, you know, and yeah, no, little car's done really well.
And who was the group with you? Everybody looked quite emotional in that small group there.
I had Chloe with me, my girlfriend, and we had Sonia, who helps run the CTCRC. Obviously, you know, a fantastic club, so yeah, it's great.
I overheard you saying that this car, you've had it since you were 15, you found it in a barn, and you used to drive it to college and back. Tell us a bit more of the story than that.
Yeah, so I was looking for an imp for, you know, to have as like my first road car, and yeah, I was about 15, and we got a tip off of a few that were sat in a barn, and I was supposed to go and look at a completely bog standard one. Yeah. But as soon as we walked into the barn, me and my dad, we saw this one in the corner, and it had all its old race numbers on and a roll cage, and it had like taped out headlights, and I said, no, sorry, I've got to have that one. So yeah, fast forward a couple of years, we had it on the road as a you know, as a 17-year-old. The first job was at McDonald's, and used to drive it down to there every day and to Silverstone and back every day for college. Crashed it a couple of times.
Yeah, standard.
And then it sort of spent most of its life drifting around Milton Keynes, and now it's a race car again. So.
Now, I mean, like college, school, first car. I'm thinking Clio, Golf, Saxo. You chosen why an imp?
My dad. Okay. Yeah, he's had them for probably 40 years now, okay. And yeah, I wouldn't have anything else. So. particularly not a mini. So.
And what now? Because I mean, an overall win. It don't make many mistakes. It is historic here having this win. There's a couple of non-starters, of course, but that happens in any single race whatsoever. How special is that trophy?
Oh, it means everything. You know, I can remember when I was sort of this tall, coming and watching, particularly the guy that builds the engine for this, Andy Jones of Shrigley Engineering. I can remember coming and watching him and thinking, yeah, I want to do this one day. And yeah, luckily, you know, sort of managed to come and do it. But yeah, it just means everything.
And you get to have another go tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think that Alpha was catching me in that race, so whether we can keep that behind again, I'm not sure, but we'll see.
The grid for our final race today then, James Everard on pole alongside number 90 Ian Bauer. Second row, two more BMWs, Rob Crizzell and Andy Cripps. Third row, Mark Fowler BMW and Scott Smith in the Honda, our Pre-03 winner from race 1. Kevin Granger and James Alford, BMW and Honda again on row 4. Then on the fifth row, we've got Will Hunt in his Fiesta, charged through from the back of the grid in race 1 alongside Anton Martin's BMW. Row 6, Matt Howarth in the Astra, Simon Mann with his BMW. Row 7, Alan Hersey. Got that one-place penalty in race 1. Starts alongside Steve Walden's BMW E30. Vic Hope in the Honda alongside the similar machine of Neil Ashcroft. Then hopefully we'll have Ross Craig and John Hillier back out after their collision on the first lap of race 1. And hopefully we'll also have Pete Winstone in his BMW. He missed the first race. Waiting for the red lights to come on, they do so now. When they go out, we'll be underway. Here we go. And a great start by Ian Bauer from the outside of the front row again. The E30 slightly slower off the line as we saw in race 1. What a fine sight they make as they charge down to Riches. And now the power comes on from James Everard. It's 3 wide for third. Look at Mark Fowler up the inside and Scott Smith round the outside. Well, Andy Cripps, the championship leader, was rather caught napping there. We're on board with James Everard as we head up towards Wilson's hairpin for the first time. Has he got the lead away from Ian Bauer? It looks like he has. Yes, he has. Bauer in second, side by side for third between Mark Fowler and Rob Crizzell. As they head up towards the left-hander at Palmer. It looks like Fowler will have the inside in the yellow car. He's got third place. Then it's Crizzell. Scott Smith leading the Pre-03s is next. Second Pre-03 is Kevin Granger. He's in behind Andy Cripps, who lost out off the line. James Alford's in that group as well, and then Will Hunt in the Fiesta. But look at the way that James Everard is pulling away into the sunset. Big lock up there from James Alford. He nearly hit the back of Scott Smith. Just avoided the back of the Civic Type R ahead of him. Sideways there from Anton Martin as well in the white BMW, but it's another white BMW leading the way with the red, blue and purple Works BMW stripes. Side by side for third. Here comes the Schnitzer liveried car of Rob Crizzell round the outside at Oggies, up towards Williams. A superb four-wheel drift there from James Everard as he leads Ian Bauer. Crizzell's gone round the outside of Mark Fowler into third place. Then Andy Cripps fighting back using the power of his M3 in the fifth. Down the Bentley straight we ride with our race leader. Down the gears, on the brakes into the left at Brundles. Past the marshal's post on the inside, then flick it back the other way. Just clip the curb slightly on the inside. Is that a bit of smoke I see from Mark Fowler's car, possibly? Well, Ian Bauer has a bit of smoke from his car as well. I think Bauer might have a problem there, or did he just run wide? This is the battle for second place between three BMWs, four BMWs it will be shortly, because Andy Cripps is closing up as well. So I think Ian Bauer just got a bit locked up and ran wide there. That's delayed the rest of the field and allowed James Everard to escape in front. BMW is holding the top 5 places. The first Honda in Pre-03 is Scott Smith ahead of James Alford. Then another BMW, that's a Pre-03 class BMW of Kevin Granger. Over the line they go, and the lead for James Everard is already up to 7 seconds at the end of the first lap. He has flown out in front. What can Crizzell do here? Trying to go, he'll never get around the outside into Agostini, surely. Side by side, he's trying. the BMW of Ian Bauer hasn't got the top end speed it needs, then Crizel could get round there, and he's done it. Here comes Bauer up the inside at Murray's, retakes third place from Rob Crizel. Here comes Rob Crizel to the inside as they go towards Agostini. He's got the inside line, takes third place. Now going for Mark Fowler, who's run wide on the exits. This is Crizel's opportunity to go through into second place, and Ian Bauer says, I'll have some of this as well. Crizel's already gone through. Yep, a mistake there by Mark Fowler. Oh, and Ian Bauer goes rally crossing. A little bit too eager there from the number 90, and he'll drop back into fourth place, maybe even fifth place. Yeah, he's sideways there again through Oggies, and Andy Cripps goes through. It is Andy Cripps who is currently leading the points now. This is the battle for the lead in the pre-03 touring cars. Scott Smith versus James Alford in their Hondas. There is Bauer, he's pulling over. James Alford trying to take the lead in pre-03 away ahead from Scott Smith. They're in different classes, so it won't matter too much in terms of the championship if Alford does get ahead. Scott Smith, I think, only racing as a one-off today with the championship. He wants another win. It is the man from Brandon who continuously... Oh, Mark Fowler's lost it. Mark Fowler was third behind Rob Crizel, but he spun coming through Hamilton's. Well, here's our leader. We haven't forgotten about him. Just under 7 minutes to go for James Everard. This stunning M3. Try and see again there what happened to Mark Fowler. Was there contact with Andy Cripps? No, he just got a wheel onto the grass and that sent him round. Great cloud of dust. We'll see where he has slotted back into the order. I would imagine he'll be behind the pre-03s. So that's... Well, he hasn't slotted back in, he's stopped. And he doesn't want to stay there because if Mark can't get that car going again, that will bring out the safety car. Now, is Mark Fowler still on the track there? No, I don't think he is. Otherwise, the safety car would have been called. There he is. He's got going again just in front of our leader. What are you doing here, says James Everard. Weren't you battling just behind me? He moves over, lets him through, and I think Mark Fowler's pulling over. And up the inside at Williams, James Alford goes through. He takes the lead of the pre-03 category. Scott Smith fights back. The two Civics side by side down the Bentley straights. We have got just over 4 minutes to go. Smith will have the inside, though, for Brundles. An absorbing battle developing here. Smith retakes it. Mark Fowler is into the pit lane. He's out of it. Oh, the leader's pulling off. I thought Rob Crizel had taken a few seconds out of him. The A30's let James Everard down. Oh, what a disappointment. And out goes James Everard just when we said he got the E30 running properly. He is heading into the paddock, so Rob Crizel, number 45, is now your leader. Well, we said this race... We said races aren't over until that checkered flag drops, so this is now for third overall between the two Hondas. It's Rob Crizel leading by just under 6 seconds. There he is over Andy Cripps. It's all playing into Andy Cripps' hands here. He's going to extend his championship lead if he can maybe catch Rob Crizel. Let's compare their lap times. About half a second slower on the last lap was Andy Cripps. Coming up to lap Neil Ashcroft's Honda Civic, who eventually lets him through. Here comes the BMW of number 45, Rob Crizel, to win the Laser Tools pre-93 touring cars here at Snetterton. Congratulations, a first ever win for Rob Crizel. Andy Cripps will come over in second place. The gap 6.2 seconds. And here come the Hondas. They're going to finish side by side for the win in pre-03, sponsored by Bertie Haulage. I think Scott Smith just got it, yes, by... Well, we'll have to wait for a second there because for the transponder readout to come through, 0.154 of a second. Smith takes it from Alford. My goodness, what a race. Rob Crizel, his first ever outright win over Andy Cripps by 6.2 seconds. Well done to Rob. The pre-03 win goes to Scott Smith on the overall podium in third by 0.154 of a second over James Alford. They were nose to tail all race long. Cavan Granger wins his class, extends his championship lead in the pre-03s, fifth overall. Then Will Hunt and Anton Martin. Matt Howarth wins his class as well, ahead of Vic Hope, Simon Mann, Alan Hersey, a class win for Steve Walden. and Neil Ashcroft a lap down the final finisher. We lost James Everard, Mark Fowler and Ian Bauer, 3 of the front runners not making it home. In fact, I believe they were the top, no, not the top 3 on the grid, sorry. Mark Fowler started 5th. Apologies there. The 2 front row men not making it home, though. Okay, I think Ewan is ready for us down there. So hopefully we can hear from Rob Crizzell.
First ever win, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much, yeah.
I mean, you had a great start today with your podium earlier. How does that feel, though?
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
Did you know you were in the lead?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
He was about 12 seconds ahead. He was about 16 seconds ahead.
He was, and I saw
He pulled it back to 12.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if you saw him go off the track or not.
Is that James Everard?
Yeah.
No, I saw him in the distance, and I thought he's slowing down. I couldn't work out why, and I thought, well, better speed up a bit more.
And where are you going to hang this later?
I'll have to ask my girlfriend, won't I?
Mate, fantastic day, well done.
Right, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate, thank you. Right, let's go and speak to who else have we got? Andy Cripps was the number 33 in second place. Where's Andy gone? I'll keep the picture in a second, Kevin. Don't go too far. Let's picture now. Actually, two podiums today. Good day for you, yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. The cars held together, which is the main thing. You know.
I mean, they were 2 very different races, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean the first race a little bit fortunate. I got a bad start, but unfortunately they had an accident up in the first hairpin. I was able to go around, keep out of trouble, regain my place, and I just kept it steady. You know, it would have been nice to get first, second I'm happy with, and third I'm happy with.
2 elements playing a part in that race today. The second one, the sun as you came down the start-finish straight. It looked terrible to us. What was it like in the car?
Terrible, because being short, I'm right down in the saddle, so I can't see out my sun visor. But you can't see your braking point, and you see your braking point at the last minute, and sometimes you overshoot and really turn in, and But it's a bit of a blind in the sun. Yeah. Maybe I'll wear my sunglasses next time, eh?
And elsewhere, whenever you picked up a little bit of dust, that seemed to throw right across the track as well.
Yeah, you got the wind. I mean, not as bad as the trucks, obviously, but yeah, you catch the dirt a little bit. It's dry and dusty out there. You don't have to go on the dirt much to kick a bit of the sandstone up, and the breeze just takes it across the track, so it looks worse than what it really is. But we're just using the track limits, really.
Absolutely,
that's all.
Yeah. And that's you done for the day. Racing tomorrow in any classes?
Not tomorrow in any classes. Our next race will be at Donington.
Fantastic.
Obviously,
we look forward to watching there, Kevin. Well done.
Can I just say hello to my grandkids?
Absolutely.
Poppy, Maisie, and Connor. Hello.
Fantastic.
Is that right? I promise I'll do it.
Well done. Well done.
Thanks
Cheers,
a lot.
buddy.
Cheers. Thank you.
Let's speak to Scott. Double winner, double bubble, double chicken dinner.
That's it, yeah. It's hard work, that one.
Yeah.
Real hard work.
Just said it was a slightly different race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We had a really good start this time. I would have got past the M3 in front if I'd have used the grass or traded some paint. But yeah, it was hard work. The EG was applying pressure the whole time. He's probably wound up with me because I was getting in his way, but I just wanted to get in front. We've always wanted to beat an EG, so to beat an EG is good work.
Nice. I mean, the car looks absolutely beautiful, and considering you've done 2 races today, immaculately good condition too.
Yeah, well, we've got a good team, considering I have to do all the work cleaning it, but I want to say thanks to Lewis over there. He's my mechanic.
Lewis in the background, everybody.
Yeah.
What does Lewis do?
He does everything, to be fair. He does everything, yeah. But mum and dad and at home watching, and the team's back at the tent, so yeah, it's been a good weekend.
Absolutely brilliant.
Mega weekend, yeah.
Well done, congratulations.
Cheers, mate, thank you.
Buddy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Right, who else can we speak to? Let's go and have a look up here. I'm going to jump in, is that all right? Mate, look, congratulations.
Thank you.
How was that race for you?
Very difficult.
Yeah, it was different, wasn't it? Everybody's saying to everybody, the 2 races today, the same classes, but very different kind of races, like almost like a war of attrition at the end.
That's right. So I mean, the low sun, the dust everywhere, basically out there today. It was pretty tough. A lot of oil and grease out there, so both of us were locking up, fighting into corners, and lock-up's not what you need when you're trying to slow down.
But end of the weekend with some silverware, it's always good, isn't it?
Yeah, can't complain.
Well, the grid forming up then, and it's an all-escort front row. Stephen Primet, number 1 on pole, alongside the number 81 of Mark Chollerton with his Mark 2 escort. The second row, 10 Jason Christie. He's in, in the Mark 1, alongside number 14 Carl Shreve. He's in a Triumph Dolomites. Row 3, another Mark 1 escort, 197 Graham Smith. And Duncan Leffley, he's in a Volkswagen Golf GTI, number 42, the ex-Alfa Romeo racer. Row 4, number 43 Mount Best, he's in a Capri. And 62 Lewis Judd in another escort. Fifth row, number 6 Anton Martin. He's in a Mark 3 Escort RS 1600 alongside Peter Millington in his very smart Hillman Avenger. Row 6, Keith Evans, number 64, in an Alfa Romeo Alfa Sud, alongside number 80, Gary Fletcher, in a Vauxhall Firenze. Row 7, number 86, Colin Claxton, and he's in a Triumph Dolomite Sprint. He's got his escort here this weekend as well, racing the Dolomite in this series, alongside hopefully David Margulies is there in his Alfa Romeo GTV6. Then on row 8, it should be number 3, Tom Harvey, with his escort. I don't think we saw him out earlier, though. I'm just taking a quick check to see if he's there. No, the escort is not there. Nor is Mark Osborne, I don't think. I didn't see the black Triumph Dolomite move off the grid, so Mark Osborne may not be there. Malcolm Jeffs is there, though, number 16, the second of the Golf GTIs. He lost a wheel in yesterday's race. Number 84 of David Claxton should be there in his Dolomite Sprint, and the final 2 cars on the grid should have been Martin Reynolds in the Taunus, number 27, and Richard Woodford's Opel Kadett, number 7, but I don't think they're there. So it's a slightly reduced grid, a few cars having problems yesterday. Revs are up and away we go. Shell Oil's pre-83 touring cars down towards Riches. Gary Fletcher running wide onto the grass there in the Vauxhall. It is Stephen Primet who leads the way down towards Riches for the first time. Second place, Mark Chollerton. Third for Jason Christie. There's Mark Osborne, has blitzed through the middle of the field already. He's up into about 5th or 6th place in the Dolomite. We're on board with Jason Christie heading down towards the Wilson's hairpin for the first time. And there's Osborne, he's already up with the other Dolomite of Carl Shreve, leaning on it there as he comes through the hairpin. We said he'd be up challenging the leaders. I didn't think it'd be this soon, though. What a start by Mark Osborne, the Welshman, already up into 4th place. And the 3 escorts ahead of him, Primet, Chollerton and Christie, up towards Agostini for the first time. Then it's Shreve, then Smith and Judd, the other 2 escorts. Not the best of starts by Mount Best. He's battling with the Golf as Mark Chollerton has a look for the lead coming out of Agostini, so gets a bit sideways. Osborne up the inside as well. You see him on the left there as we ride with Jason Christie, and through goes Mark Osborne, almost shaking his head there to say how quick is that Triumph Dolomite. He has been champion on one occasion in the past, Mark Osborne. Stephen Primet has held the lead ahead of the 81 of Mark Chollerton. Well, I said in a couple of laps Mark Osborne might be challenging the leaders. It's taken him less than half a lap to get into the lead battle. Down the Bentley straight we come then, which is the quicker on acceleration. Mark 1 Escort, Mark 2 Escort RS2000, or Triumph Dolomite. Look at this from Mark Osborne. Primet's having to move to defend already as they come down towards Brundle. They've left Jason Christie behind. He locks up on the way into Brundle. Chollerton has just about held that 2nd place. There's Christie in 4th, then a gap back to Carl Shreve, Graham Smith. It's another of the Dolomites up into 7th place. I think that's one of the Claxtons. This is magnificent from Mark Osborne. Up there among the escort hordes at the front of the field. On board with Jason Christie in 4th place. Can Mark Osborne win this after his problems yesterday? It's the left-hander up Murray's, just clipped the curb on the inside. Along the centre straight to complete the opening lap then. Stephen Primet leads by 1.3 seconds over Mark Chollerton. Osborne has gained 11 places up to 3rd place. It's Christie in 4th place. Here's the fight for 5th. Graham Smith in the Escort number 197 has got ahead of Carl Shreve in the number 14, the Triumph Dolomites, and I'm from Halstead in Essex. Last thing we want is for more cars to retire, especially as we had a couple of non-starters in this race. We mentioned the 2 cars didn't get past qualifying, the Opel of Richard Woodford and Martin Reynolds in the Ford Taunus. Jason Christie's got back through for 30. Is Osborne in trouble again? Jason Christie's got back ahead of the Triumph. Don't tell me Mark Osborne's problems from yesterday are returning. Yes, he's dropping back, look. Oh, not again. Such a shame for Mark Osborne. There's the Triumph. I've got a feeling his issues from yesterday have started to return. Here's a battle further back, and it's Triumphs all the way. Whoa, sideways there. Jason Shreve nearly, Carl Shreve rather, nearly loses it, and he loses out to David Claxton. Is there fluid down there, I wonder? Yes, we've lost Malcolm Jeffs somewhere, as Carl Shreve tries to make a move on David Claxton coming into Hamilton's. Triumphs side by side. Don't get sideways again, Carl Shreve. He doesn't. I don't think he's going to take the place either, because David Claxton's on the inside line for the right-hander at Oggies and holds the place. 6.5 minutes just under to go. Carl Shreve thought about a move there, but there wasn't room on the inside. In this fight for 5th position, there's our leader. Lead gap up to nearly 5 seconds now for Stephen Primet, probably even more. And yes, Mark Osborne has pulled into the pits. Up the inside, whoa, where's the Golf going? What on earth was that from Duncan Leffley? Did he lose his brakes there? He cut to the inside so tight there, I thought he was going to hit the barrier. Ah, look at that right front. I think his suspension might have collapsed there on the way into Brundle. That would have been a scary moment if that's the case. Duncan Leffley is out of the race, surely. Let's have a look again. Watch the red Golf. He goes for the inside. Locks up onto the grass. And just slides across. Carl Shreve did well to miss him there. And the car digs in. That might be what has damaged the front wheel. Oh, 84 slowing. Or did he just make a mistake there? I thought he slowed on the exit of the hairpin. He must have missed a gear there, David Claxton. And Carl Shreve goes through and up into 5th position. Here he comes. Nobody within sight of him as he comes into Murray's for the final time. A dominant display in race 2 for the Shell Oils Prix 83 Classic Touring Car Championship for champion Stephen Primet. Takes the flag. What a drive. What a driver. Second place will go to Mark Cholerton, and Christie did close up on him again towards the end. Only half a second between the two of them at the line. It's an all-Ford Escort podium. Good effort by Jason Christie. And 4th place, we should see another Escort of Graham Smith, the yellow Escort. Here he comes. There's Carl Shreve, the survivor of the Triumph Dolomites. Yes, I think he's the only Dolomite left running out of the 4 that started, sadly. We'll confirm the provisional results. Primet the winner ahead of Mark Cholerton by nearly 11 seconds, and Jason Christie almost catching Mark Cholerton there for second on the final lap. Graham Smith a good 4th with his Escort. Breaking the Ford domination was Carl Shreve in the surviving Triumph Dolomite in 5th place. Then Lewis Judd with his Escort. Malk Best a class winner in 7th. Anton Martin a class winner in 8th. Then it was Gary Fletcher in the Firenze. Peter Millington and Keith Evans the final finishers. We lost David Claxton. Duncan Leffley went spinning off at Brundle. Colin Claxton pulled into the pits, as did Mark Osborne. Sadly, no finishing for him this weekend. And we also lost the Golf of Malcolm Jeps.
Thank you, Dave. And it's really a story of doubles today, isn't it, across the weekend? Plenty of double winners. But not just a double, a 10-time championship winner. I'm going to jump in here with Stephen Primet. Hello, let's get you in. Just contemplating that win, weren't you, for a moment?
I know. I mean, pretty special. That's my 70th win, I think, actually.
Is it? Excellent.
So it's quite a nice landmark today.
I mean, yesterday we were talking about your 10th championship win, and we thought you'd done it, but I mean, it's absolutely guaranteed now, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly settled now. No problem. I mean, no, I really enjoyed that actually, even though the first few laps we had a bit of pressure, and then it's just really enjoyable, really attacking the circuit.
I mean, anybody out on a Sunday drive like that finds it quite enjoyable, I think, don't they?
That's right. I mean, I always try and push to the end if I can. I just think it keeps your concentration, but obviously you paid a lot of money to drive fast, so let's do it.
And we'll see you again next season, same class?
Yeah, I assume so. I don't know, yeah. Probably.
I mean, have you got any other vehicles? Is this your only racing car?
Race car, yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so.
Well, wonderful weekend, wonderful championship. Plenty more rounds to go, but you've done fantastically well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers. Let's get in with our 3rd place finisher, Jason. Jason.
Yes.
2 podiums in one weekend. Good weekend, yeah?
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
Fantastic. We didn't get to speak to you yesterday, but I'm glad we've grabbed you today. How's the weekend been for you, the 2 different races?
Yeah, really good. I qualified 2nd and then finished 3rd in yesterday, and the 3rd again today, and almost had Mark. He obviously had a bit of an issue, was slowing down on the last lap.
Yeah, we noticed.
And I was going, yes, we're going to get it 2nd, it's coming, but just another maybe 100 yards and all that in, but no, but yeah, the weekend's been brilliant. The car's come back all in one piece, no damage. we live to fight again.
Nice little crowd here too.
Yeah. It's been good. It was.
Mr. Osborne over there made it pretty tasty for a few laps, didn't he?
Yes. So when you're on the grid at the start, it's like I was just waiting for him to come through.
Yeah. And he did like a rocket.
And I was a bit surprised how quick he came through. And it was like, oh right, So at that point in my head, I was thinking, I'm really going to be battling for third or fourth because he's super quick down the straight. So I wouldn't keep up with him in the straight, and I have trouble keeping up with Mark Chollerton down the straight as well. So they've got just a bit more horsepower. So I thought in my head I'm battling for third or fourth, and but misfortune for him and lucky for me, he had a misfire or pulled off. So that was one less battle ride.
Cars coming up to the grid then, ready for the second race of the weekend for the Prix 66 Classic Touring Cars, sponsored by Pultec Race Engines. Grid based on yesterday's results, with some slight changes. There is one slight change, which will bring you in a moment. It's yesterday's winner, James Ibbotson, fresh from his first ever overall victory at the wheel of his Hillman Imp, who takes pole alongside Billy Keneally in his Ford Anglia. Now, if you're wondering where the car that finished second yesterday is, James Everard's Alfa Romeo, that's changed drivers. Jonathan Corker has taken it over. That's scheduled to start from the back. Second row of the grid, Kevin Swan with his Ford Anglia alongside Nigel Cox in the first of the Lotus Cortinas, number 47. Third row, number 6, Michael Foley, Lotus Cortina, 102, Ed Gibbs, Ford Anglia. The fourth row, number 7, Kevin Bottomley in a Mini, and championship leader Luke Wilson, number 69, he's in an Austin A40. Row 5, number 26, that's the Brian Bedford, Steve Evans Austin A40. I think it's Steve Evans driving in today's race from row 5, unless it's Brian Bedford doing both races. Because yes, if they change driver, that car will be at the back as well, so it looks like it's Brian doing both races. He starts alongside Paul Cooper in a Ford Cortina GT. Row 6, 188, David Ellis, he's in a Hillman Imp alongside 68, Keith Wright in his very smart Lotus Cortina. 66, Anthony Warnes in an A40 is on row 7 alongside Rob Kirkhoven in a Lotus Cortina. Then we got some of the cars that hit problems yesterday. Pat Keneally in the number 201 Lotus Cortina will be on row 8. He had an oil leak in yesterday's race. And then we've got some cars that didn't start yesterday's race. Piers Grange, he qualified on pole yesterday. We'll wait to see if the Ford Mustang is there. It's the only big V8 engine class car in this race. I'm just going to have a look as the grid goes off on the green flag lap. Is the Mustang there? No, it's not. Robin Slater's Lotus Cortina, number 73, should be next. I don't think that's there. The Mini, number 21, it's not Mike Davis, it's Tony Davies that has taken over at the wheel of the family Mini for this race, so that gets moved to the back. And right at the back will be Jonathan Corker in the Alfa Romeo Sprint GT, raced yesterday by its owner, James Everard. Jonathan Corker, and we normally see him in the pre-83s in his Datsun, but that car currently out of action, so he's taken over sharing the Alfa Romeo this weekend. So it'll be a 15-minute race, the Pultec Classic Race Engines Prix 66 touring cars. James Ibbotson will start as the favourite from pole position. His first overall win yesterday coming by nearly 6 seconds over James Everard at the wheel of the Alfa Romeo on that occasion. He went from last to second. Can Jonathan Corker do the same thing? Slightly reduced grid. Billy Keneally in the blue Anglia on the front row, then Kevin Swan alongside Nigel Cox, the first of the Lotus Cortinas. He'll probably get a good run down the outside here. The red lights are on. It's time to go. Classic racing with the pre-66s. Well, I said Nigel Cox might get a good start. He doesn't. Away they go, and it's a good start by James Ibbotson, the Hillman Imp, and Billy Keneally in the Anglia lead them off. It's 3 wide for third place. Cortinas either side of Kevin Swan in his Ford Anglia. Looks like Swan has held that third place. Here they come out of Riches up towards the Wilson's hairpin. We're on board with Keith Wright, the Bedfordshire plumber, at the wheel of his Lotus Cortina. There goes the Alfa Romeo, and there goes Tony Davies in the Mini. the only Mini in the field with Kevin Bottomley having not started. There are the leaders coming out of the hairpins. James Ibbotson with Billy Keneally. You can see he's got the black cross on the yellow background. That means he's a novice. Only about his second race meeting, young Billy, I think, chasing in the Ford Anglia. It's Kevin Swan in his Anglia in third place. Then we've got the charge of the Cortina Brigade, and also Ed Gibbs with the grey Anglia in there as well. David Ellis running wide in the yellow Hillman Imp onto the grass. Into Agostini for the first time. Billy Keneally's having a look for the lead. He won't get alongside there. It's the rear-engined Hillman Imp who leads the way. We heard the story of that car from its owner, James Ibbotson, yesterday. It was his first ever car. Bought it when he was 15 years old. On board with Luke Wilson. He's behind the other A40 of Brian Bedford there, the sort of pistachio green car. As they swing their way out through Oggies towards Williams and onto the back straight. Tony Davies makes up a place in the family Mini past Michael Foley in his Lotus Cortina, so the Mini is on the move early here. But it's Ibbotson who leads down the Bentley Straight for the first time. Kevin Swan going through into second place in his Ford Anglia, looking for his maiden race win, the former Bangor racer. We saw his son Jake out earlier on in the Mark II Escort in the Blue Oval Saloon Series. Back on board with Luke Wilson, the battle of the Austin A40s. It was back in 1960, if I remember rightly, that Doc Shepherd won the British Saloon Car Championship in an A40. It was a 1 litre A40, a very modified one, though a special saloon, effectively. Doc Shepherd, so called because he was a doctor and amateur racer. That car does still exist. It's being restored at the moment. James Ibbotson leads in the Imp. It was Bill McGovern who was the master of Imps in their heyday. There's the Alfa Romeo. That's come through well in the hands of Jonathan Corker. First time racing that car. It's turning out beautifully for him. Now, Luke Wilson is not where he needs to be. He needs to be ahead of Brian Bedford and leading his class. Get maximum points for the championship. James Ibbotson looking to retain the overall championship this year and get his second overall win of the weekend. This is his chance. The quick Minis are not here. The big V8 engined American beasts are not out because Piers Grange had problems after qualifying. Ibbotson leads. Swan second. Billy Keneally's Anglia in third. Available in Britain, and through goes David Ellis in the Imp. Rear engine machine. If only that had been released before the Mini came along, it would have been much more successful. Scottish built machine, built at Linwood near Glasgow. Behind them we've got Ed Gibbs with the grey Anglia. Then this battle is for 9th place. Brian Bedford, who's leading Class D ahead of Luke Wilson. They're behind Michael Foley's Cortina. Had a bit of a slow start. The Hillman Imp getting involved as well. He's in Class E, the same class as our race leader James Ibbotson. Paul Cooper, Keith Wright and Anthony Warnes round out the field. There is Cooper. Luke Wilson losing out to David Ellis. Now he won't mind the Imp getting ahead of him. He needs to get ahead of the other A40 and into the lead of the class to keep up his quest for the championship. He's on 111 points coming into this weekend, 9 ahead of James Ibbotson. So it's going to be a fight to the wire, I think, between those two if they keep winning their classes. Now Wilson back ahead of the Imp in a straight line. Down the centre straight. Ibbotson leading by nearly 5 seconds at the front of the field. His last lap of 2:26.0. Over 2 seconds quicker than anything anybody else has managed. Kevin Swan on the inside, Billy Keneally on the outside. The two Anglias. Keneally's got the inside for Nelson. He'll go through this time and up into second place and into the lead of Class C as Swan flicks it sideways. Nigel Cox behind and then Jonathan Corker. Here comes the Alfa Romeo. Well, take a whole race to read them all out. And David Ellis is frustrating Luke Wilson here. He's getting in the way of this battle with Brian Bedford. You can see Luke Wilson looking across thinking this Imp is preventing me from attacking Brian. Another Lotus Cortina racer we've seen this year, of course, the green and yellow machine of Roger Stanford, which was sadly wrecked in a big accident at Alton Park earlier this year. Roger suffered broken ribs and some heavy bruising, still on the mend, so get well soon, Roger. Hope to see you back on track soon. As the Alfa Romeo at the inside, Jonathan Corker on the brakes for Agostini, takes Nigel Cox and is up into 4th place. And still this battle raging on further back. David Ellis still side by side with Luke Wilson. He can't shake off the Hillman Imp. Jonathan Corker, I can tell you, has got through to 4th, and now here comes Luke Wilson at Murray's. Can't quite get alongside Brian Bedford, who continues to lead the class. Luke Wilson wants to get ahead. and take maximum points in his class to continue the fight for the championship. Now here comes the Alfa Romeo. He's on the tail of Kevin Swan now. Oh, Billy Keneally's dropped back. What's happened to the Anglia? As Corker goes through, that'll be for second place now. Was that a spin for Billy Keneally up at the bomb hole? Is that why he's dropped back? No, because he was still showing in second place at the timing line. So he's either run wide at the hairpin or had an incident in the early part of the lap there, Billy Keneally in the blue Ford Anglia. So this battle is now for second place. Luke Wilson this time, he's getting a run on Brian Bedford around the outside at Corham. He's trying to position himself so he can go up the inside on the brakes for Murray's. Can he do it? No, he moves back in behind. He's all over Brian Bedford here. There's only just under 2 minutes of the race to go. And David Ellis back up the inside again. Oh, for goodness sake, thinks Luke Wilson. He wants to attack Brian Bedford. He does not want to have to keep passing David Ellis's imp because he knows the A40's quicker in a straight line. They come up towards the line. Is it going to be checkered flag this time? No, it's not. We are going to get one more lap. 8 seconds there to go as the lead across the line. So we'll get one more lap out of this. The Pooltec Prix 66 touring cars. There goes the second place fight. The Alfa Romeo pulling away in a straight line. Here comes Billy Keneally on the outside. Dropped back a couple of spots earlier on, but he's back up into third, I think. Yes, round the outside of Kevin Swan. Then a gap back to Tony Davies. The Mini has got ahead of Nigel Cox's Lotus Cortina. Is Cox going to come under fire from Michael Foley? What's the gap between those two as the Alfa Romeo slides rally style around the hairpin? Yeah, the gap between the Cortinas is over 20 seconds, so that class is settled. Unless Nigel Cox fails to make it round the final lap. And they're not finished yet. These two Anglias hounding the Alfa Romeo. What a debut in this car by Jonathan Corker. Here comes Billy Keneally. He wants to get second place back again. There's the Mini and the Cortina in the background. Keneally has a look. Nope, not enough room on the inside. The last thing we want is any contact. Kevin Swan just keeping a watching brief behind in the white Anglia. Shared with his son Jake. Jake now racing his Mark II Escort. The Alfa a bit sideways there. Lost a bit of momentum. This is Billy Keneally's opportunity. We don't very often see overtaking manoeuvres made at Oggies. The Alfa sideways again. He's all over the place. And he could lose third as well. Yes, both the Anglias go through. Jonathan Corker is sliding that Alfa all over the place. I wonder if his tyres are going off. He'll have the straight line speed here. He might get a place back again as James Ibbotson is heading for victory in the Imp. In the background, though, the battle for second place. Still headed at the moment by Billy Keneally. We'll see what happens as they come into Brundle. Yes, still the Anglia second and third. Keneally's pulled away just a little bit. Can they hold off Jonathan Corker after that mistake at Oggies? Through they come. They're almost side by side there for third. It's going to be a win for James Ibbotson ahead of Billy Keneally. He's pulled away in second place, but who is going to be third? This is a battle for the class win as well, of course, in Class C. But it's going to be a win in Class E, showboating out of the final corner. It's going to be a double win for James Ibbotson. This will do wonders to his championship hopes. We'll have to wait and see what happens among the A40s as well, as James Ibbotson comes through to take the checkered flag. A double for the Imp. Now, who is going to be second at the line as James Ibbotson celebrates his win? It's Keneally second and Kevin Swan third. The Alfa has to settle for fourth place. Billy Keneally wins the class. Tony Davies fifth in the Mini. Nigel Cox's Cortina is sixth. Now, where are our friends in the Austin A40s? Where is Luke Wilson? Where is Brian Bedford? Because that could have implications for the championship if Brian beats Luke Wilson. Michael Foley is going to be the next finisher in the second of the Lotus Cortinas, quite a way behind in seventh. Here he comes. Ed Gibbs in his Ford Anglia is eighth, and what about the battle of the A40s? Where are they? Here they are. We're on board with Luke Wilson. He's still behind Brian Bedford. They've been passed by the Lotus Cortina, the Cortina GT rather, of Paul Cooper. Now, is it going to be all or nothing into Murray's by Luke Wilson to try and win the class? I don't think he's going to do it. Turns it back onto the curb. He's going to try and pull alongside on the run to the line. Look at this from Luke Wilson. He's having a go. He's having a good go at Brian Bedford. They're going to finish side by side. This is going to be really close. Is Luke Wilson going to do it? A photo finish between the two Austin A40s. And it goes, according to the timing screen, to Brian Bedford by 11 thousandths of a second. My goodness, what an effort by Luke Wilson. Meanwhile, this is earlier in the last lap. Did something happen to David Ellis? Yes, he did. Oh, that could have been disastrous for the class battlers there. David Ellis spins in front of them. That's for getting in our way, says the two A40s behind. I jest, of course. He had every right to race against them there, but poor David Ellis, a spin on the final lap, dropping him back. And here's Keith Wright. He will be our final finisher in his Cortina. Sadly, we lost Anthony Warnes. It was his car parked up at Corham, I noticed, on the final lap there. His A40. That's where the tow truck is going, I would think. Let's confirm the result then. James Ibbotson, the winner by just over 6.5 seconds ahead of Billy Keneally, topping that fine battle with Kevin Swan and Jonathan Corker to win Class C. Tony Davies 5th in the Mini from the back of the field. Well done to Jonathan Corker. His debut in that car could have been a second, but for a mistake on that final lap. Class F won by Nigel Cox in 6th ahead of Michael Foley, then Ed Gibbs and Paul Cooper, and the battling A40s finishing side by side in Class D. Brian Bedford wins the class by 0.011 of a second. David Ellis in the Imp, despite that spin, made his home. Keith Wright, the final finisher, and we lost Anthony Warnes 5 laps from home. Let's head down to Ewan in Parc Fermé.
Cheers, Dave. Well, here we are, and it's a double win for the Imp of James Ibbotson. We don't really know when the last win for an Imp was in overall class, but it's happened twice this weekend. And like I said in the previous post-race, it's been a story of doubles and double wins. And unbelievably, it's come from James. And I'm going to jump straight in if that's all right, James. An incredible weekend just got even better.
Oh, I can't believe it. Yeah. I'm speechless.
You are lost for words, aren't you? I mean, yesterday was fairly historic, and we've doubled up again. I mean, where do you go from here? I know, again, the guys at the front weren't there, but would you have preferred a little bit of a fight?
Yeah, it's always good fun. You know, I saw the last lap board, and I thought, you know, take it fairly easy. So the last couple of laps were fairly sedate, but
I think the last corner, it was a bit of a showboat, a little bit of slide in there, wasn't there?
Oh, did you notice that?
Yes, we did. How did you celebrate tonight?
I don't know. Drink the champagne, I suppose. Yeah.
I think that's always a good idea. Congratulations, and we'll see you at the next round.
Thank you very much.
Well done, buddy. Right, let's get Billy Keneally. He was 3rd place yesterday, promoted himself to 2nd in our 2nd race of the weekend. Billy, don't go too far. 3rd place yesterday, 2nd place today. Good weekend.
Not bad, is it?
Yeah.
I made it hard work for myself in that one, but...
I mean, you both did, you and Kevin fighting off the car number 38. You had a great little battle in there.
Yeah. No, it was brilliant. I loved it. But, yeah, try not to make it hard work next time.
I mean, it was great fun to watch, and it was like the two Anglias versus the Alfa Romeo. Do you think of it as like it's us versus him, or?
Not really, but no, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Fantastic. What did you do for the rest of you again? How'd you celebrate?
Don't know. Make sure it's ready for the next one, I guess.
Good idea.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, first of all, I must thank Ewan Dunlop. Thank you, everyone, for watching what's been a wonderful weekend of racing from every class of racing here this weekend. Thank you to all our volunteer marshals. Once again, we couldn't go racing without the Orange family. Thank you as well to all the recovery crews. They've been kept busy this weekend. The medical staff, race control staff, and everybody else here at Snetterton and at the British Automobile Racing Club for bringing us this race weekend. Thanks to our camera crews as well for bringing us the action out there enjoying the sunshine, and to everybody else as well here at Snetterton. From myself, Dave Goddard, on behalf of Ewan Dunlop and Down on the Ground, and everyone else here, it's over and out. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.